Today I'm sharing with you my updated build for the dock post Season 1. All mods and perks have been fully tested to make sure they do work. Some of the perks, especially for the dock, do not work. To start off with, we're going to give him some firepower for his rifle and his pistol because he does not really have any damage buffs per se, not really. So we're going to give him the Kramer assault rifle because it has high damage. We're going to give him fire rate and stability, more fire rate and max ammo, so he can do damage a little quicker, and some weak point damage and accuracy as well to help him land those shots in the drones and the problem enemies. Next up we have the Type 95 combat pistol. You could use the burst as well, but personally I like the combat pistol better, and I do recommend the combat pistol. It can do more damage per second, especially if you can spam that trigger and land your shots. We have fire rate and stability, fire rate and max ammo, and accuracy and weak point damage. Consumables, I like the cryo grid on him and the drone. You could run something else, but I feel like he can get pushed back, especially if he's the one in front of a drone, so the cryo grid comes great there. Also, the vulnerability assessment drone helps him put out more damage in those trouble fights, as well as the team. So the perks we're going to be running are the Suppressive Station. Now in the previous build I did think that some of the radiuses, because it said it linked, worked, but actually the only thing that increases the radius of your trauma station is the suppression station. So that's all we're going to be running for that. We're going to be running readiness for increased movement speed, reload speed, and handling. Great 2-spot perk. Then we got Bedside Manner. We can pick up allies twice as fast, and our bleed out time is increased by 25%. So the bleed out time being increased by 25%, it's just worth noting that this just applies standard. You don't have to pick up anybody in order to get this bonus, and this bonus does not stack. So whatever difficulty you're on, having this perk in your build will just give your entire team an additional 25%. Next up, we have picking up a down ally grants them 50% more health, and your entire team's bleed out time is increased by another 25%. Next up, we have, after not taking any damage for at least 10 seconds, gain 10% of your current life as temporary health. Now this is just like really beast on anything up until intense. Even on intense you can take slight swipes from runners and everything. On extreme or insane, it's just going to give you a little bit of health back if you get hit. Still nice. Next up, we have dealing damage to an enemy weakens them, causing them to deal 20% less damage for 5 seconds. So when you do got those priority targets, bursters, prowlers coming in, good idea to put some damage on them, so in case they do hit somebody, they're dealing 20% less damage. Next up, we have grants you 20% stun recovery, 20% grapple damage resistance, and 10% movement speed. Personally, for me, it's mostly for the movement speed. I'd take it if it didn't even have the other two, but the other two are just nice bonuses. So now we have your outgoing healing is increased by 20%, and allies now gain 15% ability recharge speed while standing near you. Now there's a couple of notes on this. One, this is not going to apply to reviving a downed ally. This is to applying a medkit. Now your medkit already gives you 1,251. So this really gives somebody 1,500 health. If they're down to like 10 HP, 100 HP, it'll cap them off. But it's even more useful for extreme and insane if you are going to run a dock in your run. When you do have that double health card on, now you can give somebody 1,500 with your med kits. So that does come in handy. Oh, there is one more note on this as well. Your recharge, the recharge portion of this perk, so it's kind of weird. It's half broken, half works. At any point in time, if anybody has a ability that's in cooldown, if they go near the dock, they're going to get a one-time 15% reduction in their cooldown. So you'll see, you might notice if you look at your screen, the time go up and down if you leave near the dock. But overall, I timed it, and you're going to get 15% reduction on whatever perks or abilities you have that are in cooldown if you go near the dock sometime in the cooldown. So it is useful, especially for its own combat stims, which has a 45-second time on it. And we're not going to be running any cooldowns on this. So when our ability ends, if we have go near players or already near players, that will bring the time down to 37 seconds, which is much more manageable. Next up, we have strength in numbers, because using the dock, if you are using the dock, especially on any hard difficulty, you're using the trauma station, you're using funneling, you're staying close to allies a lot of the time, so this just gives you 10% more damage and 10% damage resistance if they do happen to get up on you or they do drop down on you. So this is pretty nice for 3 spots, especially when you are funneling enemies and you're pulling enemies back on harder difficulties. And we went over this already, so let's skip past that. Now we have, you can no longer be stumbled while interacting with objects, reviving allies, or using an aid kit. Well, you can seem to get stumbled occasionally while interacting with objects the last time I tested this, which was 1 update ago. But reviving allies and using an aid kit I did test on this update, and that does still work. Occasionally in the past, you can get stumbled while interacting with objects, but there's like almost no objects you actually interact with. There's a couple. But the most important part is that you can revive allies without getting stumbled. So once you hit that X and you hold it on an ally, you can get them up, provided you don't go down before you get them up. And then we had this one already. I'm going to give the doc a little firepower, because he has really no damage perks, especially since he's running mostly health perks because he is a medic. We're just going to give him a little bit of firepower. So if you want to use the rifle primarily, obviously you're going to use this one right here, max ammo and weak point damage. And then we'll use weak point damage and stability. And if you're going to use the pistol, I would use something with weak point damage, max ammo, more weak point damage, and just run a block for the pistol and 1 more for the pistol as well. And that is my build for the dock post season 1. I hope that helps. And once I do apologize for not realizing in my previous build that the radius increasements just did not do anything. I thought like it did, and I was told it did by multiple people, and I was misinformed and took them at their word. And since the radius was pretty big, I figured, oh well, I guess it was that, but no, it was all the suppression station. So I do apologize for that.